it's about time to have some real fun. You guys think so? All right, well, I'm going to hand things over to one of the producers of this event. So, Jeff, lovely Jeff, come on up here.
Hello, how are you guys this morning? Woo! Wow, look, you guys. And now this is, you guys just keep coming back. You just keep coming back. This is great. Now has anyone not been here yet? Okay, so we'll start. I was going to say, if any of you hadn't been here yet, we're just going to have them all come up because, you know, it's the same introduction. But, all right, so you guys know what you just saw, right? The turtles? Do you guys know what it was, or you just dragged here, your parents made you come here? Yeah. All right, well, we're going to bring up the turtles. They're all sitting in the audience with you. They watch the show with you. You guys already know this. You're already yawning. Come on, set an example. You're supposed to be the pro. All right, let's bring them up, guys. It's Townsend Coleman right here, Michelangelo. Next up, we have Barry Gordon, Donatello, coming on up. Running, wow. Look at the energy.
There you go. You forgot your mic.
Next up, Raphael Rob Paulson, coming down. Here we go this side. And the leader of the turtles, his name is Leonardo. Yes, you're all asleep. Yes, Karen Clark.
Where are you?
Where is he? Is he here?
Where is he?
Security. He's at breakfast.
Will you please take this glamour do and throw him out? He looks great, but he's just nutty as a fruitcake.
And styling the military fashions this morning,
Well,
Mr. Cameron.
hence I'll be doing Leonardo like this my wrist rather than chair. So, right on, right on.
All right, guys, this is a Q&A, question answer. Those of you that know, we know who you are. You already asked a million questions, so we'll get to you after. The new people, do you have any questions? If you have no questions, these guys are just going to go back to bed and have breakfast. They don't need to sit here all morning.
Answer the questions. Yes, no, 1991, occasionally, and about $2 million apiece. So
The answer on my unemployment form is no, none, yes, no, no. Contact agent looking for work. Completed job as per contract.
All right, we have one right up front from someone we all know.
Hi,
Hello, guys.
Hey, sweetie.
Have you been slimed this weekend yet?
I have not, and I don't intend to be.
Ditto.
Just so you
know.
sell that in the store as a mousse. It's great for your hair.
We did ask.
Split-ins.
We asked, but they're booked all weekend.
Are they really?
Yeah. There was no sliming openings all weekend.
No sliming slots available.
Yes.
Got it.
So
Do they know
unfortunately,
who we
Just go to
are?
double
yes. Once I said who you were, they said actually if you come back
Do
in
you
a
know
year.
who we are?
All right, anyone else? Wow, this is gonna be the shortest Q&A.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
We can get to the airport a lot sooner. Can we change our flights?
Yeah, we can go now. Well, I know the whole first row has already asked you every question possible the last 2 days.
It's really nice.
You guys in the back, first timers, no questions? Nothing you want to know?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
If you could talk a little bit about the audition process and how it was that before you became before Turtles.
Did you guys hear him in the back?
You get hired. I mean, the audition process is always individual. You know, you go in. I think first, if I remember correctly, I went in. You do it at your agent's office. I'm trying to remember whether we did this one at the agent's.
In those days, didn't we just,
we
for the
did.
first call, you got to go into the flesh?
Yeah, I guess we did.
Back
I
in
guess
those
we did.
days?
Yes.
We never get, one thing that, I'm sorry.
My mind is going.
One thing that back in the day we got to do is from every first call, we'd meet the producers and such.
That's right.
Which meant that we could show Cam and we could show our personalities and then go into the read,
That's
which
right.
we don't get to do now. Our first calls are literally the taping of the characters, so you don't get to, quote, help yourself. If that makes y'all
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah.
There's not your own personality getting to when you introduce them and say, hi, how's it going? You don't get to do any tap dance with them.
Anymore.
And also, a lot of the time, you go to your agents or even do it, but you do it away from them, so you don't even exactly know what they want. Whatever, I've found that where it's getting filtered through what the agent says they want, and then you do the audition and you
It's
see the
lost in the
show. And
translation.
he said, no, that something happened because, you know, I probably could have done that, but I wasn't told to do that.
But back when we auditioned for Turtles, we would go into the recording studio where they do it, and in the lobby they'll have what they call sides, and those are just some short sample lines of what your scene would be, and then a picture of the character and a description of the character.
Right.
So you get a sense of kind of what you're auditioning for. And then you go in and you do it. Now, Rob and I were both working on a show called Fraggle Rock at the time. And the voice director on that show was going to be casting and directing Ninja Turtles. And we had never heard of it before, but when Stu came into one of our Fraggle Rock sessions, he pulled a comic book out of his briefcase and said, "You guys aren't going to believe what I'm casting next, and I'll bring you guys in on it and stuff." And he showed us this Ninja Turtles comic, and we laughed, we just rolled our eyes, and went, "Ooh, okay, good luck with that one."
And as I said the other day, I had never heard of it, and when my agent called me, and you know, just the 4 words, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I really thought he was pulling my leg. But you know, he said, no, it's a real thing. And I said, you know, okay, cool.
I think one interesting thing too is just the fate of it, because you miss an audition from time to time. You're on another job, and it's not like they have 7 days of or whatever, like an on-camera movie. You know, they'll see people forever. Quite often, this audition is Wednesday, and you're on a job or you're on vacation or whatever, and any one of us could have not been there for the first call. And you can't live your life like, oh, I can't go on vacation in case there's a call. But this is one of those
you never
wonderful, I don't want to say accidents, but we all have to
Happy
be
accident.
available that day to go do the thing.
And I think we all
Kismet.
Yeah, I think when we auditioned for it, we all read for all the various characters, all 4 turtles.
Yeah, that's right.
And again, just to magnify a little bit about when we used to be able to go in person, which we can't do now, is go, would you like to, I got this other idea where I do it a little younger, or, you know, a little gruffer, or, you know, something, and now we can't read them to know, or they'll go, oh, that's a great idea, you know, we didn't think of that, and there have been jobs that I think all of us have booked because we went a different direction that we wouldn't have had the liberty to do so now, because we don't get to see them.
This is completely off the point, but
Good.
what else is new? But I actually just audition triggered in my head. I was almost a turtle in my career twice, because back in the 1970s, when I read for Nestle's Quick,
1870s, wasn't it?
yeah, who's counting? When I read for Nestle's Quick, they weren't sure whether the character was going to be a bunny or a turtle.
Serious?
Oh, wow.
It would have been the Nestle's Quick turtle, but it wasn't. It turned out to be the Nestle's Quick bunny. They didn't know if they wanted to go against it,
Well, because
having
they-
a slow character talking about being quick, or whether they wanted to have a quick character talking about being quick.
Well, they
bunny
knew
wasn't
that your
already-
turtle was coming up later, so
They probably, yes.
The bunny wasn't already the character that
No,
was Quick?
no.
Quick didn't have like a mascot?
No, it had the guy back in the 1950s. They had Farfel. Who was the lion? It was the
kind of itches.
It was the dog.
They have lotions
it was,
for that.
It was a dog. And it was kind of a thing. And it went Nestles. Nestle makes the very best chocolate. That's what they had.
Is that showing our age?
They didn't have a bunny.
That's why we all agree.
Speedy Alka-Seltzer.
I think
Anyway,
there were
sorry.
2 people who remembered that. You got anyone else? Questions out there? All right, we got some.
Okay.
Here you go.
Now I was just asking to see if you guys could like reenact at least like a little part with the voices for us.
Does anyone have a script?
Or like the you know, your
Not
best
here.
friends or
Well, I actually love that particular episode
for
because it had the neutrinos in it, which you know are Tom Pinto and Tress MacNeille for sure. And I got to say, hold the phone, I think we're on the same side. It was kind of fun. But it's hard. It is hard to remember because we haven't recorded any new ones since 1995, 6, something like that. Yeah. So it's and I don't remember what I. Just have coffee? I think I had coffee an hour ago.
Yeah, just give me something dim-witted to say. And
Yeah, he says cowabunga and all.
all right. God, I guess, dudes.
Right, and you know, the reactor is the thermonuclear reactor is working with the thingamajig, and I don't know what to do.
And then, you want to try? Do you want to just try? Sure. What do you got?
Okay, I'll open.
All right.
All right.
I'm so nervous.
All right.
Guys, come on! Put the pizzas down, turn off the TV. Shrang and Critter have big plans. We gotta get out of here.
Shrang and Critter?
Dude,
Thanks a lot, man.
whoa, Leo, that was awesome spoonerism, man.
And scene.
Somebody tells me that somebody's been sleeping on their swords.
We've got to work on Leonardo Cerebrum.
Dude, I think we've got to do something.
That's my mind.
I think Leonardo's had a seizure.
All right, any other questions that won't fry their brains this way? All right.
Hard to follow up on that one.
Malapropism turns into a comedy myth.
Who were some of your inspirations, and have you had the chance to meet them in your lifetime?
Well, yes, I know I have. Well, there are 3 of them right here. I didn't know it at the time, but they have turned out to be my inspirations. They truly have. Listen, you got 4 people up here who made their livings for the last generation. As
4
actors.
years.
For 4 years. That's a big deal. So it's pretty inspiring when your buddies all go to work, because we know lots of people who are very talented but for some reason haven't been able to, and so this is pretty amazing that 4 guys, 25 years later we're still working. Although, you're still doing, are you doing the Amway thing as much? No.
It's not just for breakfast anymore. No,
It's not just soap anymore.
It's not just soap anymore.
Anyway, no, I'm just kidding. Not that Amway's a bad thing, good Lord. Tony and I were talking about this the other day. It was like showbiz junior achievement for us, because we were earning while we were learning in my case, at Hanna-Barbera, it was Bob Ridgely, Jonathan Winters, Kenneth Mars, June Foray, Alan Oppenheimer,
Frank
Welker, Don Messick. I got to work with Mel Blanc, I think, twice. Joni Gerber, really gifted actors who were incredibly funny, often incredibly funny in ways that aren't necessarily for public consumption. But my goodness, they were incredible people. It's very inspiring. Most of them have passed away now, but those were my sort of people who became contemporaries and peers. In terms of the folks who inspired me when I was a kid, Red Skelton, Pat Paulson, Carol Burnett,
Tim Conway,
Peter Sellers, the Pythons, the Goon Show. All those guys were, all the Carry On films, Kenneth Williams, Charles Hawtrey, those guys were all
Greg Brady.
Greg Brady. Marsha.
Did you get to meet them all?
I did not. What I did though, on Pinky and the Brain, Eric Idle played Pinky's mother and father. That was really cool.
That's awesome.
But no, I didn't. I remember, it's weird, I was so precocious, because I remember really being disappointed and angry when Peter Sellers died, because I thought, well, there's one guy I'm not going to get to work with. As though, Peter, wait for me, I'll be there. I'll get hang on. But I still hope someday to meet John Cleese. He was one of my big heroes. But all those people, whether you meet them or not, have a huge influence. I got to work with Jonathan Winters half a dozen times, and that was astonishing, just to be, in a room with a a guy like that. But now, all the people with whom I work on a regular basis, these guys, Billy West, John DiMaggio, Tress McNeil, Maurice LaMarche, Corey Burton, D. Bradley Baker, Nancy Cartwright, Jan Castellano, they're all, Jeff Bennett,
Jess Arnell.
Jess, they're all heroes of mine because they're all really, really good. And I've worked with many of them 300 times. And every time I do, they just do something.
And when you want to talk about those that have passed on, a couple of years ago there was part of the new guard that met me in the lobby of my agency, and he was like, "Oh my God, you're Cam Clark. Oh boy, I hope I have the career that you had." I think I'm still here. It's like, "Oh man, no, sorry, that's not what I meant. What I meant was, I know."
That's fine.
I got to work with
Wow,
Mel
man.
Blanc when I was 10.
Wow!
Because I did the Jack Benny show, and he used to do things on he was a regular, and he was involved with the Jack Benny show. And so the first show that I did, there was I was playing Jack Benny as a kid, and he played a parrot.
Yeah.
And he was just so incredible. He was just so great. And at that time, I had no thought that I was ever going to do voiceover, you know, and do animation at all. And the first animation I did was a commercial when I was, I think, 13, which was the Cheerios Kid. So I was the Cheerios Kid for a couple of years. And that was fun. But that was the first one that I'd ever done. But, you know, Mel Blanc is just so effortless. And he just did this parrot. It was just, you know, it was just amazing what he was able to bring to the character of this just moment in the show. And a nice human being. You know, another person that was unaffected by his success. As most are, by the way. You know, I can count the people that have not been, you know, particularly pleasant, probably on one hand. Most people are loving and great and sharing and collaborative, and it's.
Thank you, Barry.
Thank you. Most.
Just like Cam used to be when he You used to be like that, Cam, when you were working.
There's one and then four more that I can think of on one hand.
Anybody else with a question?
Hey, man.
Kenny!
Long time no see.
Oh yeah. So here's a question, and you guys probably get asked this a lot. If you could be any other turtle, who would you pick?
Well, I was gonna say Leo, but he's not working anymore, so. Gosh, I don't know.
Well, you got to be two.
I'll be Donatello. I picked that.
Because if he does it, Nickelodeon will have something to say about it.
I would like to have been Touche Turtle
Oh.
from
Nice
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah. Nice
Touche Turtle and Dum Dum.
Right.
Right?
Is that the same as?
Does that throw you back?
Google
it!
I actually did get to be another turtle, though. I did a Disney project called The Three Musketeers with Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, and I got to be a singing troubadour, French-speaking turtle. So I would go along and sing songs to keep the story moving with Mickey and Minnie and Donald, and I was a troubadour. I was a troubadour turtle with a French accent. Trottoise.
Kenny, I don't know if you heard the story. I know a number of people have, but when we first auditioned for the Turtles, and they booked the four of us, they knew that Rob was going to be Rob Dale, they knew Barry was going to be Donatello, but they hadn't decided yet whether I was going to be Michelangelo or Leonardo, and same with Cam. And they didn't decide that until our very first session, and we did our first read-through, first record, and the voice director said to me, he said, "Tony, why don't you try Michelangelo first, and Cam, you do Leonardo, and then we'll switch it on the next read-through." And after that first read-through, they just didn't switch it.
I will tell you, I was so upset about that. No, I was, because I honestly wanted to be Michelangelo because the surfer thing was like so my
It
wheelhouse.
totally was.
And it was like, wait, we were supposed to switch.
Yeah, I was just channeling my inner Cam.
He asked himself, how would Cam read this?
But they just never switched back, and that's the way it stayed for 10 seasons. So.
Who wouldn't want to be Michelangelo? Come on,
Really
guys.
is.
I love
He is,
Donatello. but
most of the time,
Michelangelo
when you
is so
talk
much
to kids
fun.
on the phone, you meet them, who's your favorite turtle? They all, in my experience, virtually always say Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Cowabunga was easy to say.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the Silicon Valley. And if you're in the Silicon
That's
Valley,
Donatello.
then we're talking Donatello. So.
All right, anyone else?
Thank you for coming to see us again, you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you
So
for the
sweet.
Q&A. Give them a minute, we'll put them over at the tables.
Yeah.
Troy will take care
Thank
of
you.
Thanks, guys. So just sit tight for just a couple minutes, guys. We're going to go ahead and get situated, and then we'll call you guys up. Group 3 will be the first group. Group 3.
Boarding first.